When I stood in that courtroom, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Not because of the judge, not even because of the papers in front of me. It was because of him, my own brother, sitting just a few feet away, pretending I wasn't even there. We used to share the same birthday cake once. We used to fight over the last slice of pie at Mom's table. And now we couldn't even look each other in the eye. That day, I realized something no one ever tells you. Family doesn't break in a single moment. It breaks slowly, piece by piece, through silence, through pride, through small words left unsaid. And by the time you notice, it's already too late.
We grew up in a little town called Willow Creek. Population, maybe 5,000 if you counted the dogs and cats too. Everyone knew everyone, and every front porch had a story. Our parents ran a small grocery store right on Main Street. Dad opened it when he was barely 20, and Mom helped him every single day after. I used to stock the shelves after school, while my brother, Daniel, handled the register. He was 2 years younger than me. Funny, stubborn, always trying to prove he could do everything better. But we were close. He'd bring me hot chocolate when I studied late, and I'd sneak him the answers for math tests when he forgot to do his homework. We weren't perfect, but we were together. And in our little world, that was enough. When Dad passed away, everything changed. But not all at once. At first, Daniel and I promised to keep the store running. We even painted a new sign, Harris Family Grocery, since 1978. I thought it was a new beginning, but grief does strange things to people. Daniel grew quieter. I tried to hold everything together, but the bills kept piling up, and Mom wasn't well. I started teaching part-time to help out, and slowly, without realizing it, I began spending less time at the store. Daniel, meanwhile, made it his life. He worked day and night, barely taking a day off. I admired him for it, but sometimes I think he began to resent me for leaving him alone to carry it all.
It started small, little arguments about money or which supplier to use. Then came the one that really hurt. Mom wanted to put the house in both our names. She said, "It's the least I can do for you two. You'll always have a home here." Daniel didn't say anything at first, but later that night, he came into my room and said quietly, "Why do you even need it, Anna? You've got your job, your apartment in town. I'm the one taking care of Mom. Shouldn't the house come to me?" I remember staring at him, not sure what to say. I wanted to argue, but something in his voice, the exhaustion, the bitterness, made me stop. So I said softly, "It's not about who gets what, Dan. It's about what Mom wants." He laughed under his breath. "Yeah, well, maybe she doesn't see what's fair anymore." From that night on, something shifted between us. We still talked, still saw each other, but there was always this invisible wall. When Mom passed away 2 years later, that wall became concrete. After the funeral, we sat at the kitchen table with the lawyer, an old man named Mr. Jacobs, who'd known us since we were kids. He unfolded the will carefully, like it was something fragile. Mom had divided everything equally. Half of the house to me, half to Daniel. The store, same thing. I thought it was fair. Daniel didn't. He leaned back, crossing his arms. "Mr. Jacobs, I don't think that's right. The store is mine. Anna hasn't been part of it in years." I tried to stay calm. "Dan, that store is part of both of us. It's our family's name." He looked at me then, and I'll never forget that look. It wasn't anger. It was disappointment. Almost pity. Like he'd already decided I was the enemy. "I kept it alive, Anna. You left." We didn't yell. We didn't fight. We just stopped being brother and sister in that moment. A few weeks later, his lawyer called mine. He wanted to buy me out for half of what the store was worth. I refused. And that's how it ended up in court. It wasn't some big fancy trial like on TV.
Just a small, cold room with white walls and tired faces. The judge asked questions, papers were passed around, and there we were. Two people who shared the same blood, now represented by strangers in suits. I tried not to look at Daniel, but sometimes my eyes wandered. He wouldn't meet my gaze. He just stared ahead, jaw tight, hands folded. When the judge asked if there was any chance for settlement, Daniel shook his head before I could even open my mouth. That was the moment I knew. Whatever we once were, it was gone. The decision came a month later. We sold the store, split the money, and just like that, 40 years of family history was gone. I moved to another town soon after, smaller, quieter. I teach part-time at the local school and rent a little house with a porch that creaks when you walk on it. Sometimes, when I make coffee in the morning, I think about the store. The sound of the bell above the door, Mom's laughter echoing from the back, Daniel teasing customers for taking too long to choose a cereal box. It feels like another life. People ask me sometimes if I still talk to him. I tell them the truth. No. But I do think about him. Every single day. Once, about a year after the court case, I saw him at the farmer's market. He was standing by the apples, talking to someone, smiling. For a second, I thought about going up to him. But then he turned, saw me, and pretended not to. I didn't chase after him. I just stood there, holding a bag of peaches, realizing that sometimes love doesn't end with hate. It just fades, quietly, like sunlight slipping through the blinds. A few weeks ago, I received a letter in the mail. It was from a lawyer, Daniel's new one. Apparently, he's selling his share of Mom's house. He wanted to know if I'd like to buy it. I stared at the letter for a long time, and then I folded it neatly and put it away. I didn't call him. I didn't write back, because I realized something. Holding on to the past doesn't fix what's broken. Sometimes letting it be is the only way to find peace. That night, I sat on my porch, listening to the crickets, and whispered, "I hope you're happy, Dan. I really do." And for the first time in years, I didn't feel the weight of anger or loss. Just stillness. Family isn't about who shares your blood. It's about who shares your heart when things fall apart. Daniel and I, we lost that somewhere along the way. Not because of greed or money, but because neither of us knew how to say, "I'm sorry." If I could go back, I'd tell my younger self to listen more, argue less, and never assume time will fix everything. Because time doesn't heal what you never face. It just teaches you to live with the silence. Now, when I walk past old stores, I sometimes catch the smell of fresh bread or the creak of a wooden counter, and it takes me back. I smile, not with regret, but with gratitude. Because even though the story didn't end the way I hoped, it taught me that love can still exist quietly, even between two people who once stood in court as strangers.